Hey guys, welcome back to Big Ambitions. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm incredibly exhausted. Okay. It's Sunday afternoon. I have $1.7 million. We're making just under 800,000 on Saturday. And as you can see, we have some things going on over here on the left side. So cheap jewelry is just out of stock. We're running out of it lower, or we need to get more of it. So I'm importing more of it from the docks this time around. Hopefully we'll have enough money to do that. I have 1.7 million, like I said, making a little bit here. Let's just go ahead and see what we're going to have at the end of the day tomorrow. And then you'll notice that my Priority Clothing Co. is closed. We ran out of fabric. So I'm ordering a lot more fabric. Okay. My initial delivery was 4,000 fabric. It's 12,000 now. We're really ramping it up. Okay, so profit was this. So we have 2.3 million. Let's take a look and see if we're going to have enough here. And I don't think so. I really don't. So let's round this up to 500. Round this down to 300. That'll give us a good round number there. So that's 800 grand. 850, let's say. Okay, so actually we're fine. Yeah, we're gonna be fine on that delivery here. So let's sleep until just after 8 a.m. Here we go. We should have a great delivery there. All the shipments happened, and of course nothing's in stock, but we should have the clothing store should now have an inventory. So now we have more fabric. I've ordered 20,000 fabric instead of 4,000. Yeah, I ramped it up a little bit. And then I also ordered some additional cheap fabric. We're now at 15,000 because we're gonna have to start making that too, right? So let's go ahead and open that up, and my factory can begin to create things once more. Now, in order to get all these things delivered to my jewelry stores, I have to go around in a truck over and over again, and I've decided I just don't want to ever do that. I'm just not into that. It's not worth the time. So what's more worth the time is just going to Tuesday. I know it seems like maybe that's a little bit of a cop-out, but it's kind of what it's worth here. We're going to call you. We're going to get a new investment, and I'm going to dump, let's say, 400 grand into my investment fund there, too. My investments are now up to 2.6 in there. Okay. Let's go ahead and sleep to the next day. That way I don't have to worry about this anymore. So we'll go to about, well, what do you think about here? Let's go here. And then that will, of course, get us the money. Plus, all the jewelry will then be in stock, and we can stop worrying about it. And we can proceed to looking at what the topic for today is, which is creating another factory. Yes, we're going to be making another factory. Plus, I want to get an expansion to my existing factory. So let me show you what we're working with here. And that is going to require me to get over there. You know, I think I need a different vehicle for making factories, you know? I don't know if I really want it to be a big truck, but I feel like I want it to, so I don't have to drive the bridge anymore, right? I want to have another bigger vehicle here so I can bring things from the factory over here. Again, I don't know if I really want it to be a big truck, but these guys are open in 2 hours. That's not super bad. But that means I'm going to be waiting around. I guess there's a bench out there. I could just go to that bench and wait. I'm going to take the subway across the bridge. We're going to order another truck. If it means I'm getting one of those... I mean, hell, I might as well just get a big truck, right? And then just that way I can haul like 100 things at a time. We have expensive jewelry, modern expensive female clothing. Yeah. All this stuff is going to start getting delivered too. It's fine. Silver health insurance, bronze health insurance. We could do all those things too. But what I wanted to look at is in priorities. Let's take a look at our daily income here. Priorities is now second place. And this is before it sells expensive clothing, because I have not delivered those. I've made a bunch of them, but I have not delivered any of them. So this is second place, making 100,000 a day. And this is it's a clothing store without the expensive clothing. So I guess to answer the question, does making an everything store work? Yeah, it definitely works. And once I start selling expensive clothing there, that number is going to shoot way higher. It's going to be by far my most profitable business. All right, General US Trucks is open. So let's go take a look. And I don't really know if I want to get one of these, but I think for making factories, you want to have as many things as possible at a time and maybe not have to wait for the deliveries, but On the other hand, just doing things in massive bulk, it just kind of makes sense to do it like that, you know? So maybe what I'll do is, like these courier vans are cool, but maybe we'll get one of these. I don't have one of these yet. This is the Mercedes Dash, and it's got 24 cargo capacity. It's a little bit, I think this is a little cheaper than the truck, right? I think it is. I'm not sure that it is. And we'll get this black van. Let's go black with it. So we'll have this as sort of a vehicle that replaces the, you know, the Nunavut that's over there. And that way I don't have to drive the Nunavut across the bridge anymore. We'll just take the subway, take the train to here, and then we can drive this around. We're moving stuff in and out of our factories. And man, the turning radius on this thing is deplorable. Okay, so we're going over to that factory depot, just on that side, and we're gonna need to get a few more things. Okay, we're gonna need to get, I'm just trying to play chicken with the cars, I guess. I was looking somewhere else and I just realized there was a car right in front of me. And actually on these roads, they're so wide, you can just go down the center and you basically never hit anybody. But man, the turning radius on this thing is horrible. All right, luckily there's parking right outside here. Wow, there's a lot of parking outside here. Let's go ahead and park right here. And right here, let's just back in. Like that. That's legal, right? Yeah, right there. Perfect. All right. So we'll go here. This store is going to be open in just like very, very little time. So I guess I should probably just wait it out. Am I already wet? I am already wet, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So we're just going to wait this out, and then we'll hop in here. And I need to grab, I don't know, maybe 100. Like 100 conveyor belts. I need to grab a lot of conveyor belts. So we're probably just going to fill our truck with conveyor belts. At least this trip over there. And then I want to show you what I'm working on for my clothing factory, because I have expanded it a little bit using existing machines that we have. But I now want to start working on getting some classic clothing as well. We are going to make more modern clothing than we make classic clothing. Their margin is a little bit better on the modern clothing that is on classic, just a little bit. But also I feel like if it's classic, there probably shouldn't be as much of it in the market, if that makes sense. Like they're maybe older style doesn't sell as well as the new style. Otherwise, you know, it would be the new style, that kind of thing. That's where my head is anyway. So we're gonna need another input station for the classic fabric. And probably don't need any of these things right now, but I guess I could go. That's going to be it's a 2-to-1 ratio on the cheap stuff, but it's still a different ratio here. I think that allows me. I think that right there gives me the right ratio based on what I already have at the place. We're going to grab one more just in case. All right, that's going to suck down pretty much all my cash. No, it sucks down even more than all my cash. Okay, let's get rid of one of the laser cutting machines, and we'll go ahead and have this be what we do. So we'll buy this. We'll shove it in the van, and then we'll go over to the factory where I am expanding our offerings. It looks like I needed to get that out of the cart anyway because I just filled the van. It's maxed out now at 24. All right, this van. I'm having regrets. I should have went with the truck. This is bigger though. The truck is 20 spaces. This is 24. We do technically have more function out of this vehicle. It's just, I mean, look at it next to that black truck. All right, what would you rather have, huh? Right there. That's what I'd rather have. Oh yeah, yeah. You're a great driver. Good for you. I'm gonna go the wrong way on this one way, just to prove how good of a driver I am. So the first thing I've changed is I've moved the big yellow school bus van. I've moved it to here because I've noticed that there's very regularly there's cars parked here, and it makes it very difficult to get in and out of the factory with my vehicle without hitting something. Like I do damage every time. So I've moved that over here, and because I don't have to drive that, and now I can drive in this one and go in and out of this one instead. So that's over there now. Okay, so I'm gonna get out. So here's what I've done at the factory for now. So you know this part. We've done all this. We have all this, and everything's fine. But I've added this section over here. And that was harder than you might think to get these things spaced appropriately so that this whole arrangement with all the different splitters would come off of the same input station. So still only one input station for the entire factory. And it would then have to wiggle itself through all of these different things. I got these on different levels because that was required. I needed some overlap on these to make it work. And then it all needed to I needed to make sure that the whole thing fed into the same output so that all the output ends up going to these two output stations. We definitely needed these two output stations. I have 2 laser cutting machines over here so far. We're going to add another one within the van. And I have 4 of these sewing machines right over here too. And we have a couple more in the van too, I think. And what we're going to do is make our classic clothing factory on this side. Still expensive clothing. We're not going to do cheap in this factory. Everything in this factory is going to end up being expensive. Now, one of the things I've been looking at the possibility of doing is making even more expensive clothing by being able to move this. There's a lot of space right here. And it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like this is kind of a waste. I could be doing something better with this, right? Some of you may have had the same idea. And it is realistic for us to be able to take this right here and just slide it this direction. That can work. But the issue is in order to make all of this stuff match up and, split evenly, I have a little bit of overlap with the truck bay over on this side. And I can't reconcile that. There's not a whole lot I could do there. One of the things I considered doing is turning this stuff here sideways like these are. And seeing how well we could split them to get them all to feed in a sideways manner so that, like, say these 4 would be back here and they would feed that way. And then these 4 would be back here and they would feed in this direction. I may go forth and do that today. It may be possible to make that happen, so we'll see. I'll just basically show you. I'm not going to take you through that entire process because, well, that entire process is a process, okay? That is definitely a process. All right, we need another input station over here. And this is going to have our classic expensive fabric, okay? And then another laser cutting machine is going to go over here too. Let's just get that over here. So since we're doing expensive, we have 3 of these laser cutters. I was planning on having 4, but I had to put one back. But we have 3 of them. And if we had 4, that means we can get 6 of these. So that's something else we want too. Also, just to make this not as easy to, or make this harder to, you get it. I want these separated so I can tell the difference. So I have a lot of spare belts right here, right, ready to go. But they're not blocking the output station, so they can still walk there. It doesn't matter too much whether they can still walk there. If you're not in the factory, I've had a couple of people say these types of things, so I wanted to kind of, clarify how this all works and stuff. This stuff is simulated when you're not there. And it's simulated based on employment. Okay, so if I have, for example, some people have said, well, hey, why don't you just have the worker, they can only work 1 hour and then you can have them not work so you don't have to pay them. And then you can bring them back 2 hours later so they can load the station again. Okay, that is how the factory would work if I'm staring at it. While I'm here, everybody's spacing is doing their thing. They have to be able to reach things, etc. As soon as I leave the building, output is simulated based on supply, the number of machines that can produce, and them being at their stations. Okay? So if they're not at their station and I'm gone, the game is going to treat it as if that is not functioning. Does that make sense? So you need them on their stations because otherwise it's not going to work. Okay? And you could try this in your own game and tell me how it goes for you. Guys, if I'm wrong, I'd love to know it. But if it works the way you think it's trying to work or the way you're recommending, it means that factories work differently than every other store in the game. And every other thing in the game. They're fundamentally different than all other places. And that would be fine if that is the case, but my understanding is that they're not different than any other place. All right, let me show you preliminarily how we're laying this out here, okay? So we're going to try to mimic this side because this setup is fairly efficient in what it does and spaces things out. So we're going to try to mimic this side. So we're going to start with this one. We kind of got a little bit of a start on this belt over here as well. It's kind of laying out going that way. And we're going to have a start. We're going to get this one going here too. So what we want is 7 over. So we have 1 here. We're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 up. We're going to follow that up with a splitter. And then that splitter is going to go to the right on this side. And then we're going to go straight on this side. Then we're going to follow this up with another splitter here. And then because that splitter gets us on, remember we talked about this earlier about being on different planes of existence, okay? It's not really what it's called, but it's like, you know, the solid lines or the dashed lines, right? Well, these machines are going to be positioned, right, on the solid lines. So we want to have, you know, and all of these other ones are positioned on the solid lines. You can kind of see it. The light's making that hard to see. Let's move that. So you can kind of see how that grid is, right? They're on the solid lines on the outsides of them, okay? So we want to make sure we keep everything on the outside, well, or on the solid lines. Well, if you use the splitter, then everything goes to the dashed lines. Now everything is on the dashed lines, the dotted lines, right? So we need to use another splitter immediately here to get things back on track for that. So everything kind of goes the way it's supposed to go, okay? Now on this side, going in this direction, okay, we need to split this so we can proceed where we need to go. So for on this side, we're going to have you straight here, and we're going to go there. That puts the machine, as you notice, that puts the machines on the dashed lines, okay? So we have dashed lines for these machines, but then we can get them about there, and then they can be 2 apart like that. So this is where those guys are going to be. And this mimics the design we have all over the places, basically. The belts are on the solid lines. The machines, though, are on the dash lines because you have to split one more time to have a single direction cover 2 machines. So you basically have to set up all of your, or I have to set up all of my belts to be on the solids because the machines here are located on the dash lines. So on this side of it, since we've done that double split here like this, right? Set it up right there like that. We're going to want to go out 2 like so, and then turn here. All right. So now we're just off center with that machine. So we need another splitter. And that allows me to get that machine hooked up there. And then the next one would be over... Grab one of these belts here. The next machine would then be over right there. So all of these will then line up as we do. Now on the other side, okay, let's get the other side lined up too. So on the other side, we're going to want these machines to kind of be spaced out about like that, right? And so they're going to be lining up here. So we need these little points here are where my machines slap on, right? So we'll know where they go. And then this line carries on and feeds another few machines there, okay? And so on this side, what do we want to do, right? Well, on the other side, we've got 7 comes out this way again. And we need to deviate a little bit from this side because I actually went ahead and split extra times just to add this little extra bit here. Probably not going to do that. So we're just going to keep it kind of the same here. We have a lot of extra belts in the way, but we're just going to try to ignore that extra bit of splitting that I did. And so we're going to be out here, and then we're going to end up splitting to get things where they need to go. So let's see what this is going to be about, because I actually have to do this part from scratch just because of, you know, it's a little different than the other side. So we're going to take a splitter, and I'm going to place it, you know, we probably want it here. Yeah, so if I want it there, then I'm going to have to go this way and then follow it up with another belt that takes it to there. Yep, and then this splitter then goes straight in. So we'll have, I have a whole bunch of straight belts. What am I doing right here? Right here. So just move these there and then over and then there. That takes care of those 2 machines. I'll then want to move this to where it's here. And then on this side, we're going to want to keep this moving. Let's move these back a little bit here. So from there, we're good. We got this connection point there. That's fine. And then on this side, we're going to want to go, I guess, probably we need that double split again in order to make that happen. So we're going to need to add another splitter here. And then on the inside edge of that, another splitter here. And that gets everything back on the solid lines, which is where we need them to be. And then we keep going straight from this side, but then this side's going to come over 1, 2, then split there, like so. And then this one would go 1, slide it over, and 2. And so now we have connection points for 4 of these with belts that also go that direction to keep that chain moving. Okay, and then in the end, we would end up having belts that go straight through the middle here. So this would be a belt there, there, and it just goes straight this way until the end of whatever this chain is, which, you know, might be about this long. Let's move a lot of these machines out of the way here. Also kind of want to put my light back so it's somewhat organized in the ceiling there. There we go. And then this goes all the way out, at least that far. I probably want, I think, 6 of these. So I'm going to say about this far is where that belt needs to go. So we're going to move the belts out to at least this far. And by 6 of these, I don't actually mean 6 laser cutters. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another 6 on the other side. So 12 total. If you come and look at this, we have the same. It's 12 total. So this is going to give us the same amount of, you know, the modern clothing as it is the same number of classic clothing as modern clothing, right? Except for the fact that I maybe don't have the space to add this extra bit, and then I definitely won't have this extra bit. So we will still be overproducing, or we'll be producing more modern than classic still, but I still want to make a good amount of the classic. So I have all of this room here and here to put these extra sewing machines, and then they all have to combine. They really just need to slap onto this belt. As long as they're slapping onto this belt, they're fine, and then they'll end up in the outputs just fine. So we'll probably say, not that one, we'll probably say you go here, and that will be the end of that. Okay, so we have an idea of where these laser cutters are going to end up. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do here, let's just go ahead and save those changes. Oh, it looks like I have more splitters. Good, I was like trying to figure out where the heck my splitters went. Like I know I have a lot more than those. No, they're all over here. And then we'll go back to interior design mode so it doesn't keep glitching the sound in and out. And also give me a little more freedom to move my camera. Honestly, the interior design mode would be fantastic if it just allowed me to access storages during it. That's the only reason to not, you know, use this all the time, is that I can't get into boxes, can't use inventories from shelves, can't use my my cart even, can't use the vehicle, etc. And if I could access storages from this mode, it would just, you would never leave this mode, you know? And then double that up, in my own opinion, I know some people don't care for it, but I would just love the radio to play in this mode too, because why not? Just have the sound pass through, at least for the radio. That'd be cool. That way I can jam on and design factories with the radio going. But I mean, you can always play your own music on your computer too, I suppose. I need you to get out of my way. Just use my character for it instead. Okay, so on this side, we need to figure out where in the world are all of these going. And essentially, to really figure that out, we're going to want to get our belt in place to deliver these things. And so I can't do it in a straight line here. So the straight line's got to be here. So all we're going to want to do is, I guess, move all of these belts to where they wrap around, and we'll work backwards from here, and then that will give us all the room we need to kind of connect all these together. So let me just kind of get all of these over here. I mean, I'm gonna need more belts anyway, but if I have them in place over here and can tell where they are, then I can start pulling them off of this to place them where I want them, because this is very easy to just redo later, but this gives me the spacing that I need to like reference and stuff. So okay, a new day, and I've spent all the money I made. Even though we're making over 800,000 a day, I'm still spending it just as fast as we're making it. I've bought a whole bunch more belts, bought a whole bunch more splitters. I even bought 2 more laser cutters, so we can start kind of evolving that and starting to build that into the system too. So we could do a little bit more work here. Let's move my character out of the way really quick, and we'll go into design mode. Now, I originally lined this up to just make sure that we were at a point that was good here. But remember, if I split, which I need to in order to get here, there's no attachment point here. Can't go that way. So I'm going to need to split again. And remember, if I split, and I'm kind of only explaining this because I've had some comments. I want you to understand why I do what I do. Okay, that's the only reason. If I split this, watch what happens, right? It is now off by half a tile. See? I can't go in half tile increments. I have to go in full tile increments. So in other words, that does not line up. So if I split, I have to actually split again because that's just how they've built the system. You have to split it a second time. And so that's what I can do here. Now, if I split it this way, it's a little bit easier to get that direction because it's just one less tile I have to worry about. So we'll split twice. And does that mean that some stuff is going to get stuck here? Yeah, it means that inventory will get stuck here. I can't avoid that. It's a part of the system. It's a part of how things work. You can see various places around here that probably happens right here, right? If I go ahead and do this and we take a look at anywhere with a double splitter, right, you're going to see that stuff just lingers. So right there, that stuff's not going anywhere. That fabric will be there forever, right? And there's nothing I can do about it because I have to in order to line everything up. So it's just a part of the system. It only wastes one material, right? Because that one material is going to be there the whole time. No other material will go there. So you're only wasting one piece of raw material when you do that. In this case, though, we're going to be wasting more than one material when we do that. Now, one thing I could do to make this a little bit better, to make this whole thing flow just a little bit better, is I could shift everything. These have to be here because it lines up with this belt. Okay, but if I shifted all of this one half tile over, I could prevent this from happening. And therein lies the tactic. Therein lies the trick. It's making it to where the processed materials, the stuff that's halfway done, doesn't get stuck, so that you can constantly have more. And this is just like sitting around here overloaded. It's kind of weird. Well, it's not that weird. This feeds this whole system, but it's going to go here first for half the load. So yeah. Anyway, so if I wanted that to happen, what I would have to do is I could shift everything just a half tile over. And I actually did that over in that first section. I shifted everything over there, a half tile over, so that it would line up with the end without having any processed material being stuck. And that's the only thing I can do. So we shift everything over, just a half tile. And what you'll notice now is I can split. I did it again. Is I can split at the end there one time, and then it will line up now. Okay, so we'll shift it over this way. It needs to be actually shifted over this way. Yes, this is the wrong direction. We don't want to shift this way. I got to put it back. Disregard changes. Oh boy. It disregarded every change. Anyway, I don't want it to shift that way. I want to shift this way. That's how we do it, because it's this direction that I'm off by half a tile. Remember, this splitting stuff works in both directions. So when you split, you go off half a tile. That's only half a tile in this direction. You're still fine in this way, right? So you have to split it strategically in the right direction to make that happen. So in this case, I don't want to split twice. So I'm off by half a tile in this direction. So I want to bump this up by 1 or back by 1. And I think we're going to go up by 1 instead. So we'll end up being there. So everything that I've done, this whole setup needs to be shifted just a half tile in this direction. And that will make everything line up so where I don't have to split that. There we go. So I'm just going to keep doing this with everything. There's no bulk selection tools in the game. I know I'm just trying to cover every possible comment about how things work. Every possibility. There's no bulk selection tools in the game. You have to do everything one at a time. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people say that factories just aren't worth it. It's because of the amount of effort that it takes to build a factory. And the devs have heard this. The devs understand this. They know, which is why the next version of the game is changing it. And all of these designs won't work in the next version of the game, probably. I don't know how they're gonna deal with that and make them compatible, because we're gonna spend all this time on factories. But in the meantime, you know, we can actually have it working. But next version, they're probably all broken. I don't envy the game developers, man. I don't envy that job of trying to balance how things work and trying to, you know, satisfy gamers that already have existing saves, and how do you work with backwards compatibility, and you want to add a better system, but it's not compatible with what you already have. So what do you do? Right? And I'm hoping what they do is, you know, they have that whole save file, you know, upgrade system that they put in before. Let's see, watch it. Just boom. Now it works, right? Everything is good, and I only have to split once up here. And that's great. So I can come over here now, and I know that if I split here, it puts me on the exact same plane that I need in order to match up with all of these. Now, on this side, it gets a little bit more complicated, though. This side, I'm going to have to split twice. Probably. Here, I had no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, I could do 8 of them. And then over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to have 10, 11, 12, etc. But this only works with 8. On the other direction, there's a bit of an issue there in that these are the ones that wrap around. They require multiple splits. And usually, if you have to split it twice, what you can do is this. I've done this a couple of times too. So if I have to split this twice, let's say I need to go like this. Instead of that, what you can do is leave a space for that, and then you can wrap this around and go somewhere else and set up machinery in that other method, which is what I have got done over here. Like, this is all in a different area, and then it eventually wraps around on itself. So right here, for example, you can see where I've done that, where instead of having the machine output to a single belt, it outputs to a splitter, which allows the machine to shift it back that one tile, and then I just use the other one to wrap around. So in any instance where the machines are in an off center or whatever, you can then have them merge with the belt using a splitter instead. And it's a little more expensive because you have to use the splitter, but at least you don't waste material. And it's, you know, whatever, it's fine. I mean, wasting material doesn't really matter that much because, again, it's only one piece that's going to get stuck and not used. And then every other piece from that point on will just go around that piece, but it still sucks to have to do that. Okay, let me get all this stuff sorted out, and I'll probably go another day, to be honest, because I want to get more sewing machines as well. So I'm looking at my options here on how to get all of these sewing machines, and I wanted to get these sewing machines kind of paired up here. I wanted to place them here, but I noticed that there's basically only 4 in this row, and I only have 4 left over here anyway. And so rather than trying to figure out how to match them in this direction, I've kind of tried to figure out how to match them in this direction. There's a lot of belts here that's kind of working with this, but this is what I've come up with so far to get these. I had to get these right next to each other in order for this to be able to fit. And then that requires them to be, again, on that opposite plane of existence, right? So these belts are all on the solid square lines, the solid lines, but these 2 here are on the dotted. And so what you can do is you just have them merge at their output and then have a splitter there, which then, of course, merges the output over here too. So there's like little tactics you can do with the splitters to kind of help you out there. And if I had thought of that before, I might have been able to get, you know, more of these in here. Like there's a gap right here where I might have been able to get 2 more here. If I had just come off the line a little bit, I would have been able to maybe stick them right next to each other, and then anywhere where the output was opposite, I just pop a splitter there instead. It might look cleaner, this whole layout here. It's possible it looks cleaner by having them in a row this way, but I know it works this way, and I've already bought the belts and everything, so I'm just going to kind of... No, I'm not going to kind of... See, this is my problem, right? It's this half-step difference. So, right, you have all of these right? They're on the solid lines. Again, I'm trying to reiterate this because I've had a few people, like a dozen people, confused as to why I do the belts like this. See how there's a solid line there? I have to have something selected, otherwise you can't see the grid, right? So they're on the solid line here, but they're on the dotted line in this direction. So it's solid line on this side, but dotted line on this side. And if I scoot this back, same thing, right? Dotted line on this side, but dotted line on this side. So as long as it's on the dotted line in this direction, then everything matches up. But this one is not. It's on the solid line because I use the splitter here. So if I wanted to have this be in the proper position, I'd have to move it up one. That's how I'd get this in the proper spot so that it links up to this belt, right? But in order to actually have that work, I need another splitter because these are placing it on the solid lines in both, and I need the solid line in that direction. So in order to do that, I have to have this adjust it 1/2 tile again, and now I can have that work. But now you have that extra little bit there, which doesn't really work for me too much unless, of course, I put this kind of right here, which could work. But now we're kind of encroaching on the output station, and then on top of that, this can work. Yeah, this would work right there. So I could have it be like that, and that would take care of it. And that technically is all done and ready to go. It's just that this output station has something kind of encroaching on it right now, so I'd have to move it over. But I'd like to see if there's a way I could do this a little bit more cleanly in this area. I also have another machine I could just pop right there too. I guess I'm down one. I don't think I have any more sewing machines. No, I have bought a couple more of the laser cutters, and I moved them into position so I could see kind of where they're going to be. And this is as far up as I'm going to go for the correct ratio and everything. So, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you have to deal with this current situation in the factories. And also, the factory system is being redone. I'm going to reiterate that. I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing it. It's just wanting to give everybody as much understanding as possible because there was still some confusion in the last video. I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit cleaner. All right, it's a little bit different, but I think it's just a tad bit more compact and a little bit more compatible with the space. So if I go like that, we should be good to go. Although this one, oh, well, you can see I had to move it over, so this one doesn't match up now. Yeah, so not done yet. If I move this over, the goal is, of course, to get this to where I'm not wasting anything. I don't want to waste any material. And that means trying to get it to where we don't ever have one of these outputs just sitting there doing nothing, or I guess inputs just sitting there doing nothing. That's the idea. And that's not going to happen unless I can somehow find a way to use every single out here. So that's going to connect all of these up. I have this extra gap just because I'm short on sewing machines. So I'm constantly moving the sewing machines around, but we still have this gap, which is fine. This gap is okay. We could always have this gap, for example, work its way up that way and then just move the output station so it's next to the other one. And then we just have a clear path, assuming that actually works. So is it an even amount of space? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I come off of that one, is it an even space? It's not, because it's half a mark over. So it's like, this is a tough thing. It's really difficult to get this whole thing to be more efficient. And I think I prefer the way I had it before, just because I know the way I had it before works. And I have a whole bunch of belts and stuff left over, of course, but at least I know the other way works. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel my changes. That's going to revert everything I just did back to the previous state that it was in. There it goes. Everything's a little bit crazy now. We got some things going nuts. It should just re-scramble. There it goes. It's a little wonky when you do that, but we made it work. And then there's also a double belt right here for some reason. Let's just get that out of the way. There we go. And then this one can go over like this. All right, so this works. At least it matches everything up, and it's the same number of sewing machines as well. So the only downside is that this is a little bit crowded here, but he can move. You can see this is the output dude. So he can get in here and he can leave to do his job. So it's functional the way it is. It's just a little cramped, but it works. Okay, so knowing that all of this matches up, we need one more sewing machine to go there, and then this thing can stop bugging me. We do need that to be there, though. So when I get another sewing machine, I'll pop it there. And then down here, we need to route all of these belts so that they match up with these very specific points. I can go a little bit further if I need to. It's just the important thing is that it lines up with this. So I can't put anything here. I can't put anything here. It has to be either like all on the solid lines, basically. It has to be, I call it solid. It's solid in both directions. Yeah. I will look at what that's going to take. It's going to need probably a few more splitters than I have, unfortunately. All of this side is already routed. So all of these, we just need to plop the machines in there, but this whole thing is done. So it's really just about getting this little bit here done, which, as it turns out, is actually quite easy because it's just a belt that goes this way like that. Now, obviously, we do have this little bit here that is going to get stuck up, but these are not things that have been cut already, so it's fine. This routes it to all the machines I need, and that's it. So I end up with this many extra belts, this many extra splitters on this side. Now we have more room right here. We could continue, we could add some additional stuff here and then plug it in on that side. We just want to make sure we're not getting in the way of the output. The output is actually quite easy to move because everything kind of goes to a central location. All we have to do is redirect the belts so that they meet in another location. So going on that note, I could very well add additional sewing machines right through here. I would just have to split it in another time or split it another instance here. And that's not exactly that easy. It's quite challenging because as soon as I split it, I need to find some usage. And then on top of that, I'm probably going to have to shift these and then use splitters after them because I will be placing them. I'll have to shift everything to be on the wrong lines, solid, dotted, etc. But otherwise, this is done. It's a functional factory, and we can set everything here to do classic clothing now. All of these should be fabric expensive. And we're going to cut classic expensive. Here it is. Yep. Classic's expensive, classic expensive, classic expensive. There and there. All these are set to do classic expensive. And yeah, they're in a little bit weird spots. Here we go. They're in kind of weird spots, but that's okay. I guess I could probably just move them down the line a little bit more on this side and do the same over here just so that they get cut a little bit faster, I guess. But I just plug and play. I need another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cutting machines to go with it. And then we'll be ready to rock. So we'll get an input person here, and then that's it. We don't actually need anyone else because we already have the 2 output people, and they work adequately for the stock we have. So the only bottleneck really that's happening here is that we still have to wait for one, right? Like it doesn't keep flowing. It should just keep moving, and it doesn't keep moving. So that's the only problem, is that the belts do sometimes get hung up there. And if we're going to add all this stuff, it's just going to add even more crowding to that. So one way around that could be to separate these just a bit more and then have some of these products come this way and some of the products go into the other one. Instead of having them share this one choke point, we have them to have 2 separate ones. That's something I could do. If I was going to do something like that, it would probably be somewhere along the lines of like this. We'd temporarily close the place. I'd come over and I'd say, hey, right here is where I want this. And then I'd put that there. And then I'd have to actually scoot that up. So I'd have this redirected that way, go there, and then there. And then all of these belts would then redirect the other direction so that these machines go here and the rest of them go here. But see, that's not balanced, right? And we want things to be balanced because that's how all things should be. So, I had to go there. And so I'm going to want to put this all back now, and I don't even remember where it was. I don't remember where everything was. I think I was like this, right? And then this. Was it like that? No, it was back further. Yeah, it was back up against this, like there, I think. Yeah, and then this one was that way, and then this one was that way. Yeah, turn it back on. So I'll put it back the way it was. And we'll see how that goes. It's possible I need another output station somewhere. Maybe a dedicated output station for just this whole thing. That would be okay. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that. I guess if I was going to do it, I'd probably want to... maybe I'd move to have this machine slide over here and then maybe open this up a little bit and have the output on this side and then they would just output to shelves over here. Possibly, I don't know. Hi, Terrence Cantu. What do you want? Looks like the request for an executive office desk has not been met. And somebody's going to poach him if I don't give it to him. So fine, Terrence. We are the law. These lawyers, I tell you, they're so demanding. I'll go ahead and take care of that for you. Fine. In the meantime, though, it's probably a good idea for me to just really quickly go down here, find primary skill, find factory worker, and then find one that doesn't want excessive things. Gold water cooler is good. We'll send you here. We're going to need a couple of people. Actually, I need 3 of you per station. So we're going to get the water cooler ones. Yeah, health insurance is easy to meet. Now we'll go like that. And then the last person is going to be the water cooler one. Here we go. Hire. And then we come back over to the clothing store, schedule, see this, and see the need, fill the need. And then he'll get placed here. And then this station, it does fabric expensive. So they'll be doing that as soon as the scheduler is done. There we go. And we should get them on their station now. Excuse me. Baking powder. Yeah. Come to work. There you are. And it's right next to him, so he just does it. So all the fabric goes through here, and now it will get sorted and start getting cut. And then the rest of these, right, it's classic expensive. Class is expensive. This is female. I believe I have 6 each for now. I think I want to upgrade that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I need more cutters. Yeah. I need more cutters. Not cutters. I need more sewing machines. I need less cutters, actually. We're actually pretty good with the cutters the way they are right now. I have 16 and 6. It's not the correct ratio, but it's closer than if I filled it. So we need more sewing machines. So I'm definitely going to need to use this other space to have more sewing machines in here. So we will be using this space at some point here. But in the meantime, you know, like they're going to make classic expensive mail. That one's empty. This one's going to be expensive mail. This one's going to be expensive male. And then I'll make another couple of female ones, I guess. I'm not sure what the balance is right now on that, and it's fine. We'll just have you guys just make an assortment of things. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're working, as long as you're doing things, that's fine. Okay. The last step in this entire process to actually make money doing this is to get our clothing store set up, right? Priorities needs to be set up so that we can, sell the expensive stuff. Because if you take a look really quick at, let me just play the music a little bit. There we go. I just want something in the background for me, all right? Been a long day of moving belts around. So right now, if we take a look at the stock of what's in stock, Priority Clothing Co., right, has a certain amount of inventory. What does it have? Well, right now we currently have $21.98 modern expensive female clothings. That's great. We have $12.81 modern expensive male. Why do we have so much more modern expensive female clothing? And actually, we're starting to get classic already, but why do we have so much more on that? Is it because of deliveries? Well, this one has shipped more, but it's not that much more. So I want to take a look really quick at my logistics manager and see what they are doing. So Priority Clothing Co., you have been told to take modern expensive female clothing and keep 2,000 and keep 2,000. Modern expensive male, modern expensive female. Like, are we just taking? I have the exact. Let me see this. Let me see this really quick. We park this slow van that I've already bumped into things because its turning radius is horrible. All right, get in there. All right, let's really quick just check my ratios because I'm pretty sure my ratios are good, but I just want to check this. So we're going female, 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 female. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 female there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 male. That's equal. On this side, it should be 3 and 3. Male, 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 female, female, female. So they have the exact ratios here. So I don't know exactly why we have 2 times the female clothing. Is there there's obviously a bottleneck somewhere, right? Let's see. You got to have some kind of bottleneck going on here. I mean, you do pass on. Yeah, you do. Yep. I don't like this. I don't like how it bunches up right here. I really want to change this, but I can't. It's just because of how the splitters work. I needed to realign it. And then really quickly, let me just go in here and just check this out. I want to see how it's operating. Otherwise, I would just go interior designer. So these ones here, 15 minutes to produce again, each one. Right. And, these ones here, same thing. These are all the male clothing. So this belt is blocked. That's what this is. The belt's blocked. I need another output station in a different location. I think that's really what the bottom line is I need to move output to be in a different location. All right, let's take a look at that. See if we can do something about that. So we're going to temporarily close the place. And I need output to be, I guess, because this belt is so overloaded now. And the female belts are over here, and they are pumping it direct here. So I like that. That's working. I think I want to... Really? Occupied? Come on. Let me move you. Okay. So... This one's movable too. Okay, so I want to change. I think I'm going to go... Yeah, this one here is going to come down. And we're going to bring it down, straight down this way, into an output station here. All right, so it's facing that direction. We'll just use that extra belt. There we go. So this one is now going to feed this way. Now, what we want... We have some of these machines going that way, but I need another output station somewhere else. And that is a very difficult thing to do. We're going to take these belts here and slide them down. Actually, just get them out of the way entirely. And what we're going to do is take all of this and slide it down more. I'm going to open up this space so we can have a bigger output area because the output is definitely the bottleneck right now. So I want to move all of you down. Now, again, the problem with this is that this doesn't come down straight down. So I'm still going to have to do... a little bit of weird trickery here in getting this to meet because it doesn't meet there. So I can't move this really any further over than it already is on this side. Okay. So this has to come straight down. All of this is going to come straight down as far as it can. And, this is the kind of stuff I've been doing, but I'm really trying to cut this video together differently so that you guys don't have just, the entire video would be just me moving belts around and it's, I think you guys can see what I'm trying to talk about here. It's not the most riveting content, but it's a problem to solve, and I want you guys to at least see how I'm solving it. So I think to help that process, I'm not sure if a taxi would be faster, but I'm going to hope that a taxi is faster than me driving. I'm going to take this taxi right here, and I'm going to hope that they don't close, because it runs the clock, right? Okay, it doesn't run it very fast, though. So we'll go in here, and we're going to grab a couple of things, I think, here, because I might as well while I'm here. We're going to grab an output station. We're going to grab 2 output stations. I'm pretty confident I'm going to need another one. And with that, I think probably we're going to have to grab... I have splitters. We'll grab 1 conveyor belt because I already have it in the cart, but I think I have enough splitters. Every time I think I have enough, though, I end up having, 1 short. So it's like I have to run back to the factory depot again. Oh, man. It doesn't matter what time we get to the factory now because, I don't have to go back to the store. But since there's a taxi here, I might as well do it. So let's get there. And then we're going to place the output station in here. If we're going to start it, I'll place it here for now. I don't think I want it to stay there, though. And I also don't want to place this one yet. We'll just put the conveyor belt over here somewhere. It's fine. And we'll place the box for this output station over here. just because I don't want it to be active for when I hire people. So now I can go into the hiring candidates. Here's my factory workers and peaceful work environment. I like you. What else you got here? Factory workers, coffee machine, silver health insurance, peaceful work environment. Lovely. One more needed from you. Coffee machine, standard fridge, water cooler. There you go. And then rerun the schedule now. Okay, so when that schedule's done, you should see this one spring into action. And I think I want this to be moved up though, so I want it there. And then I want you to just go here for now so that you'll end up sending it the right direction. Okay, so now with this being split a little bit better, us having another output station, I'm hoping that the bottleneck is kind of alleviated a little bit here. Just a little bit, you know? We'll see how that goes. But I still have this belt stopping. And I know, I need to fix it. So it's something that's on my to-do list now. And this is the reason why I didn't want to share this factory yet. People ask me to share my factories. I'm going to share my businesses that I design. I'm going to share my factories that I design. But I'm not going to do it until I know it works really well. And this doesn't yet. So there's still some tweaking to do here, which I will do between videos to get it all working. And when we come back for the next one, you will see how the finished product looks compared to now. I think it will look it'll look a little bit different, to be honest. I'm probably going to have to move things a little bit more. And it'll be much more efficient. I want to stop this bottleneck right here. I want to get around this. And I probably can't do that unless I take this sewing machine away. I probably need this to happen. If I had to guess, I'd say that's the solution. I need to take that away. And if I do that, then I have to figure out where am I going to place the rest of my sewing machines. You know, I need the rest of my sewing machines to do something. That means this path doesn't have to happen anymore. So I can do something like this. Actually, we'll just fix it right now because I'm pretty sure this will fix it, right? We send this on a separate line down this way. We just take you and turn you there. And now everything over here goes on its separate line on its way to export, right? And then again, we're trying to stop the bottlenecks. So if I wanted to stop the bottlenecks here, I would do this. I would say, this whole thing doesn't need to happen anymore. So now we have no need for that. And we could just have you turn for now. Okay. And then we could take that extra output station that I got before, which I can't see. There we go. And we're going to take this, grab this, place it, and we can place it here next to the others. I can actually just embed it right here, I guess. He can move from here, I think. And then now I can go down and over, slide you there, right? I can't do that one. I got to do this one. And then I could do like that. So now we have the extra, all of this now has its own output station. I think that will probably fix the problem. And then I just have to figure out how am I going to incorporate this space to be usable for additional, you know, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe we won't have additional, you know, but 3 more factory workers. We need 3 more. So let's go ahead and just fix this. I was going to do this in the next video. We're doing it live. Just do it. 1 bronze. Fine. You can have it. At least it guarantees you never want gold. Standard fridge, water cooler. You're here too. Okay. Take clothing factory, schedule, run it. And that is going to do it. Now, I think everything can flow a lot better now. Once the extra that's kind of built up is able to finally be done, we'll start getting it. Oh, I need to get out of his way, I think. Probably. How do I get you to be on station? Are you already here? You got to be already here. If you're not, you didn't come to work today. Why are you not at work? There you are. It takes a bit for him to drive here. Jeez, what a terrible boss. Just like super needy. All right, I'm just trying to get the clothing off of this. So I have these extra belts. I still have these extra splitters. And I have a little bit of rearranging to do, probably. Once I have enough money, that'll be great. But I'm actually down one sewing machine now, so I have less production as a result of that. I need to fix that part. I might be able to move this way. No, this space is wasted. So you need to find a way. Yeah, all of this. This is how we're going to do this. It's actually quite easy because we'll just split again here. And then we can take it to a sewing machine on this side, which then, it can't actually go that way, can it? Well, maybe we can get sewing machines over here. Probably not. We can take it right here, and then we'll split here and bring it next to this and bring it around. And now that supply goes this way. Because I'm actually cutting. I'm going to be able to cut more than these things can handle. And these belts are going to be full all the time anyway. Yeah, so it's something to think about. Got lots of things to think about. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Lots more output capacity. Hopefully less bottlenecks. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.